In this video, we explore the How Affordable Are Water Services tab. The data shown in this tab reflects the choices made in the map. In this example, we have selected Pennsylvania, all system sizes, all ownership type. We are also looking at the cost of water services using 6,000 gallons of water or 802 cubic feet in a month. This is equivalent to a family of 2 using 100 gallons per person per day in a month, or a family of 4 using 50 gallons per person per day. The data shown in all the charts will reflect this selection of 330 utilities. You can always check on the selections made in the gray bar below the map. We have selected Lancaster City, Pennsylvania. The How Affordable Are Water Services tab explores the affordability of water services given who lives in my utility and how much water services cost. This tab contains several metrics and ways of exploring affordability. The gray bar above the tab has 3 icons. Click on the icons to either show or hide different metrics. If you click on Compare Metrics, you see a series of charts appear. In the top right, you see an option to hide the charts. The opening tab shows the income dedicated to water services for the selected utility and the annual cost of water services. Here, the annual cost of drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater over a year is $1,318 when 6,000 gallons of water are used each month. The x-axis of the chart is the percent of income going to water services ranging from 0 to 15%. It is helpful to know that 4.6% of income a month is roughly equivalent to a day of labor. We show each day of labor as a vertical line. The y-axis is the percent of households in the service area spending that amount or more on water services. Each of the lightly shaded lines represents one of the 330 utilities selected in the map above. The dark gray line shows the median value. For example, the median utility has around 18% of households spending more than 5% of their income on water services. The highlighted line with markers is the selected utility. We provide some arrows and text to help interpret the chart. Here, 27% of households spend more than 4% of their income on water services at 6,000 gallons per month. This is slightly higher than the median in Pennsylvania. You may notice an option to see a table version. Click on the box to see a table showing an income range, the percent of households in each income range, the cumulative percent of households earning the current income range or less, and the last column shows the percent of income households are spending on water services at 6,000 gallons. So, if a household earns between $50,000 and $75,000, they are spending between 1.8 to 2.6% of their income on water services. If a utility has outside rates, an additional column is provided for the percent of income needed to pay for water services when located outside the municipal boundary. Let's hide this chart and look at the Compare Metrics chart. Here we see 4 box plots exploring affordability using 4 metrics. The minimum wage hours metric is concerned with the affordability of water services for those households earning minimum wage. The minimum wage used in this analysis is the minimum wage of the state. In Pennsylvania, it was $7.25 an hour. Local governments may have higher minimum wages that would influence this metric. This chart shows the number of hours needed each month to pay for water services. Each dot represents a utility. The box represents the range for half of utilities, and the whiskers the range for most utilities. The line in the box represents the median. The blue dot represents the selected utility. Here we see that a minimum wage earner would need to work 11.9 hours per month to pay for water services when using 6,000 gallons. This is at the lower end of other utilities in Pennsylvania. The traditional and household burden metrics are concerned about the representative availability of different populations within the utility to pay for water services. The traditional metric is concerned with the median income of the community, while household burden is concerned with low incomes, defined as the 20th percentile income. This means if you had 100 households ranked from the lowest to highest income, you would select the income of the 20th household in that line. While this metric uses the percent of income going to water services, we can translate that to days of labor since 4.6% of income represents 1 day of labor in most months. Here we see that 2.4% of a median income household revenue goes towards water services, while 5.5% of a low-income household revenue goes towards paying for water services. This is above the median of other utilities in Pennsylvania. The poverty prevalence, which reflects the percent of the population below 200% of the federal poverty level, is higher at 29% than the median utility at 24% in Pennsylvania. Let's hide this chart and look at the affordability burden charts. Here we see a chart that combines the poverty prevalence metric on the x-axis with the household burden metric on the y-axis. The colors in this chart and the burden level is what is used to color the utilities in the map above. Each dot represents a utility, with the highlighted blue dot representing the selected utility. Notice that affordability is really a continuum, and so we continue to show 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and so on of labor as the household burden increases. Here, Lancaster City has a moderate high burden that is driven by both poverty prevalence of 29% and a household burden of 5.5%. Notice that you can change the legend to display other attributes of the utility. State, we are only looking at Pennsylvania, size, and ownership type. Below that chart is a table that provides a count of utilities classified in each burden level. We show the number of utilities in the entire database, utilities based on your selection in the map, and block groups based on the current utility selected. The chart on the right of the table is the same as the chart above, except we are showing only the selected utility and how much the household burden changes with the volume of water used from 0 to 16,000 gallons. In Lancaster, the household burden increases by 11% from 1.3% at 0 gallons to 12.5% at 16,000 gallons. Notice the poverty prevalence does not change with water use. We hope this video was helpful to get the most out of the How Much Do Water Services Cost tab. Remember, you can hover over the highlighted utility to see text to help you interpret the chart, and you can click on the information icons at any time for help in reading these plots. Thank you for your time.